You need to enter the Konami code. Up, sorry. Up, down, left, right. B-A. Oh my god, you're actually right. You have to enter the Konami code to unlock the Morning Star weapon. Well, this is as good a time as any to start the recording. Hello, my name is Abe. Welcome back to Dead Cells. And apparently, Sir Ender has explained to me that you have to enter the Konami code to get the Morning Star. I knew it would be in the game at some point, so let's take a look at it. A brutal whip with a star-shaped head can be held to spin the whip along with your movement. Deals critical hits after spinning for at least 1 second. Critical hits don't deal that much damage, it looks like, 229 to 260 DPS. But it's a weapon. I'm sorry. Can be held to spin the whip along with your movement. It's weird because it's like a cross with the, and then it's got a flail on the end of it. But like, this is all I can do. I can't move while I'm doing this. I just have the ability to go, boing, 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 boing. I like the sound. It says along with your movement. It must be like a misspelling or mistranslation or something. It probably means you can't move while you're using it. The Mimic has a freaking item, huh? That's terrible news. But it is still a whip. We can still just, use it to do whip-related things. What did we just pick up? 2 survival stats. We are in BC3, by the way. We're gonna have a little bit more of a difficult run here, but I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to risk it and hope that we can pick up a good run here. What a strange weapon. I just don't quite understand when you would do this and spin for 1 second to do critical damage when you are constantly in motion in the game of Dead Cells. I will say though, I do like the fact that there's a little bit of a burn synergy here, which means we'll spreads oil? Spreads oil, you say? Let's do this. Let's do this. Get rid of this, and then we have a voodoo head. It's not a voodoo head, it's a other head. It's the Medusa head. But it does create oil, huh? So, in theory, I'll get you. There were bats here a second ago. In theory, we can use ye ol' voodoo head here to put a little bit of fire on enemies. I mean, it's kind of working, right? Victims burn when they die, spreads oil on the enemy. I gotta remember how to use it. You throw it, it rolls, and eventually screams, and which I believe that petrifies enemies. We can do it manually. I can also just like throw it down here and then just let this thing kind of do its work. What a strange weapon. What a strange like idea for a run here. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm gonna be honest with you. We're gonna try though. Right, wait a minute. Hold on. The head petrifies enemies that it hits, and it launches enemies in the air when it explodes. That's what it is. Sorry, I gotta figure this out. These are both weapons that I've never used before, and the Morning Star doesn't even seem that good. It's okay. So, okay. I mean, here's the thing. I don't think it matters what we take early because it's early. The fire didn't really spread as much as I was kind of hoping it would. It doesn't matter what we do right now. It doesn't matter what we take. We'll probably be fine. I do see that there is a elite enemy down there, but you know what? Have one of these. Can be held to spin the whip along with your movement. Ah, but of course. Poison heals you instead of wounding you. Ooh, that's actually like really good. We lose out on stats of green, but we get good poison. I gotta think about what we did on the last run as well. I don't quite remember. What we did on the last run was we defeated Dracula. We turned on BC3 mode, which is where we're at right now. What hit me? Oh. I guess you just want to like stand still and just do one of these. It's a little awkward to do on the controller, but we could go down to the sewers. We could also go and face Dracula. Normally we've been doing kind of an A side, B side run here, where we go the we alternate between going to the early castle, and then we do the late castle later, where we actually get hold on, the fight against Dracula. So it's death one time, Dracula another time. Oh my god, I gotta replace his weapon. You know, my dude also went I gotta replace his weapon. It's trash. But here's what I'm thinking. We have an amulet that gives us immunity to poison. In fact, poison heals us. We could go down to the toxic sewers. Yo, laser glaive is red. I think we'll take laser glaive. It's a very nice piece of equipment, and I'll just use that instead of the flail, honestly. Like, okay, I gotta actually, you know, hit with it. There we go. But the laser glaive is actually like amazing. Poison biome, let's go. That's what I'm thinking. Let's go, you know, straight into the poison biome. More damage to poison. I don't think it really matters. I would love to take 2 fire grenades, but we've got a fire turret. We're not really building into a fire synergy. I just have fire-related things, and I'm going brutality, so maybe I am building into a fire-related thing. The laser glaive is not fire, but the laser glaive is just good. Like, actually solid. EC3, what is this? 2019, says Jackman. Jackman, have you played a lot of Dead Cells recently? Have you played any of the new biome, the new DLC? Return to Castlevania? And also, what BC were you playing when you were playing Dead Cells, huh? It's Terraria. I know this game. I've played this before. Nice sword. Why leave it there inside this ugly monster? That's the best way to have it stolen from you. Makes you wonder. Oh, a sword on the ground. I spotted it first. The Star Fury. I mean, this seems like a great sword. We'll probably replace the stupid glaive with this. Successful attacks also create 2 falling stars that strike another target if possible, dealing critical damage. I love the attack animation with it too, because it is a Terraria attack animation. That's very good. No wall running on these walls though, unfortunately. I guess there's no wall running in Terraria, so. So, successful, not successive, successful. So all we have to do is hit an enemy once, and then they start to get hit with these stars coming down from the heavens. It's actually a very good weapon in Terraria, so I have high hopes it'll be good for us here. Also, what are we doing? We need to go to the bank. You know, how much money do we have? 1,500? I was thinking maybe we could grab the orb. It's like 3,000, right? Because if we could get the orb, we could hold on to it for stats, probably, and then take it with us to a new level. Maybe the bank, and try to get some loot out of that, what am I trying to say? Blueprints, that's what I'm trying to say. But I guess we're not gonna do that. We don't have the money. I don't want to get that much curse I forget how much curse it actually is, but it's gotta be a lot, right? Hunk. ELQ, welcome, how's it going? Jackman says, I'm playing too many games right now. Wulong came out for PC, right? Dead Space Remake, Hogwarts, Callisto Protocol. I guess there's a lot of stuff coming out that you were doing. Frantic Sword. That's really good. It does very good damage on its own. I actually think I'm gonna put this in my backpack. I did see that there was, of course, a explosive crossbow. It makes me very sad when I see an explosive crossbow in the game because I think to myself, oh, I wish I had the explosive crossbow. But you know, I've already spent 2 points in red, so it would feel like a waste at this point. We're gonna go disengagement. There's no heals available, but hey, there's poison, and poison will heal us in theory. Jackman says the Resident Evil 4 remake is coming out on the March 24th. That could be a fun game to play. Dude, it's not even that slow of a heal. Man, this amulet is busted. Like, that's very good. Like, very, very, very good. I love the sound of that glaive. Granted, you know, early game, how much extra healing are you really gonna need? That seems like a pretty decent weapon, honestly. It takes a second for the stars to land, but if it targets other enemies if possible, then you're gonna get just like extra damage out of your attacks. Well, I mean, that's probably the brunt of the damage, but still pretty good. Got him. It's like weirdly AoE. That's very nice, very nice. All right, more brutality, please. The one negative, and it is a small negative, is that it does take a while for things to die, and the base damage of the weapon is pretty bad. But like, what I like about it is that there's nothing wrong with the weapon. It's not gonna not work on bosses or anything. It's gonna be totally fine. You know, a lot of weapons that have gimmicks maybe don't work on bosses because you have to like get a kill with it or something. This is not one of those weapons. It'll work just fine. Got him. A pie? Something tells me we're not gonna need the food. Now, is that something, the fact that we can instantly heal by just jumping into poison? Yes. Wow, you just gave me a scroll. Oh, I got hit. I was getting the scroll. What's the skin? This is the Queen from the Queen in the Sea update, I believe. Also, I'm like thinking about it, and isn't the glaive gonna be very, very good for Mr. Watcher? Okay, bad hit to take, but whatever. We'll heal it just by walking into poison temporarily. Like, I gotta feel like the glaive hitting the tentacles is gonna be a very nice thing for us. I'm also noticing, I think that the sword doesn't create like an infinite number of stars. Let me try to figure out a way of phrasing this. Generates a toxic cloud around the trap. The sword generates stars. The stars have to land before you get other stars, I think. Infantry grenade, quick to use but not super powerful. 100 DPS sinew slicer infantry grenade. I'd rather have the grenade as just like a spammable. We'll figure it out. Whip sword, also a very interesting weapon, but it does take up both of my slots. I think I wanna, it's got good damage though. Like actually pretty decent damage, but no thank you. This is one of those weapons where I don't quite understand the one of the weapons where I don't quite understand the damage bar, the damage indicators. Like it says, it does 200 damage and then 400 damage with crit hits. Like, okay, does that mean if you count the attacks that you're doing and the crits that you're doing independently, or does the crits do specifically that much damage, but because it's a different attack, it's not counted in the main like DPS calculations? How's the damage actually being calculated here? I got no freaking idea. So what I'm gonna do is just use the sword until I think to myself, you know what, self, we're not really doing that much damage. Let's switch weapons. Or maybe if I just find like a higher level weapon, or a higher level sword for that matter. Segus Jr. says the star is a projectile, and it still gets affected by things like point blank. Do you think that is actually true? Point blank. So if you're up close and personal, the enemy would take a lot of damage from point blank. Isn't point blank a tactics scaling mutation? Makes me think that it's not gonna be super useful here. Because if it is a tactics scaling mutation, are we going to have a lot of tactics that'll make point blank actually good? I do really like the glaive. I didn't ignore, by the way, the fact that there was a legendary bow back there. I'm just thinking about it. I'm thinking about it and I'm saying to myself, do I want a legendary bow? Almost certainly. It's gonna turn this not into a tactics run, but it's gonna turn it into a tactics run with the health of a brutality run, which seems very good. We can build a burn synergy with this as well if we really want. Roll that bow until it gets, you know, plus damage against burning targets and then go to town. There's our 60, let's go. Dude, the star's home. Good to know. Good to know. I wasn't necessarily super curious about that, but it is good to know that the stars do in fact home. Dun 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 dun. Oh my god. This glaive. Did a good job. I know I could have just thrown one like firebomb, but I wanted to see the glaive in action. That's why I have the damn thing. The worst at this point would be if I actually did forget to go grab the bow. But we're gonna go grab the bow. Don't worry about it. We only heal 2 per tick, but I'm gonna wait. Gloop, 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 gloop. Give me a second. Is that her costume? This is one of the costumes of the Queen from The Queen and the Sea. DLC. Bosses in Dead Cells all have multiple different costumes that you get by fighting them and killing them multiple times, including a gold one, which you get if you can flawless the boss. I'm not gonna say we're gonna flawless any Draculas in this run, but oh, if we could. Oh, if we could. Okay, so I think we are done. There's another flame turret there. Let's go grab the bow. And I think we will replace the glaive with it, maybe? Fires twice as many bullets, so it shoots 6 arrows. Oh my god. As fun, you know, what if we just do like a ranged brutality build? Get rid of the Star Fury, take the laser glaive and the multi-knock bow. We get crowd control with the glaive and then single target damage with the multi-knock bow. Would that work? Ammo plus 3, beautiful. That might work. Might work. The Star Fury is nice and all, but let's do like a weirdo. Let's actually just hold on to the Star Fury. We'll do like a weirdo ranged brutality build. Okay, that's food. Trap did spread oil, but that's okay. 2 HP per tick is OP. If you had 10,000 health, it might take a little while to heal up, but when you have 1,000, it's not even that long. All right, let's go to the prison. Dum dum. Seekus Jr. says, I know that the star in the projectile gets affected by point blank because I've seen it in testing. I know it's not good with brutality, but it's still interesting. It is interesting, isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Ammo plus 3, shots pierce the first target, electrified enemies burn, stunned, poisoned. We don't poison enemies. I'm not gonna reroll too much. Ah! Victims release a toxic cloud plus 80% damage on a poison target. There's our synergy built in immediately. What do we want? Honestly, ammo could be interesting, but let's go for No Mercy. One of the just standard great mutations of the game. And I feel like we've got a good build here. We've done it. We've actually like built something. We built a synergy. It did just open the door. Also, a colorless ferryman's lantern. I don't think we're gonna grab it on this run. I'm just gonna recycle it. Because I like what we have. Am I a coward? Yes. Just immediately launch the grenades to kill the ranged enemy as quickly as possible. We want to take a look around. We don't want to go too fast. There is a, oh god, there's one of these, first of all. But there is a weird orb guy. By orb guy, I mean goo guy. I don't even think we can skip the goo guy. We can, but it's just another goo guy. Not the best, not the best. Around. He also sees me. So I think we throw the grenades at the goo guy, run away, and then I don't know what. I haven't thought that far ahead. Okay, he's dead. He's dead. Now what? Now what we do is this. Okay, it did nothing. Okay, let's try that again. We use fire this time. Now this enemy, very annoying. Don't really want to fight him. Don't really want to even be like anywhere near him. What? My dude was invincible when he was unburrowing, which was not ideal for me. Oh, Lord. I'm just gonna chill here for a minute. Hey, they burn? Everyone burns down here. Just wait. He's also apparently not, he doesn't even care about the fact that there was fire there, which is good for me. Now he's dead. One enemy remaining. If I can grab, oh, it's a bird. If I can grab this guy and wipe him, then we're good. We're golden. Why? I was gonna say, why are you not being shielded? Not that I'm complaining about it. Beautiful. What a nice little hop there. You know what? Fine. Okay. It doesn't really matter so much if we get hit now. We've dealt with the main problem. Got him. See you. You know what? Oh God. Didn't think that guy was actually still gonna be alive. Alright, you know what? I hate fighting these enemies, the ones that are invincible to all of your attacks until you just like throw a bomb at them. They're kind of just like big jerks. I like that the glaive does seem to like stun. Is that a property of the glaive? No, it just does damage. Apparently the glaive does have piercing. I don't know how that works. You do not get stunned. I just have to shoot you. Dun. I see that. What the hell? I don't like that I have a sound effect when I get hit now. I go, ugh. Okay, you kind of just stood still, man. Damage heals you, or poison heals you. I think we still want that. Oh, where is the thing? Dude, I love the bouncing glaive for dealing with clusters of enemies. I know that there's a bird here. It actually is very good for like crowd control. It's a very strange weapon to have as a brutality weapon, because it's just a ranged weapon. It doesn't scale off of like bleeding or anything. Makes me interested in the reasoning for that. Okay, we are done. That was not a bad floor at all. We didn't get to 60, but that's okay. We do have a portal. Let's do the portal. Get ourselves another free scroll. Getting 2 scrolls for 1 level, a bonus level. I love it. Please, thank you. But I want to keep the poison healing you because what I want to do is go down to the other sewer level so we can get value out of this dang old amulet, which I don't really see that often. I can't remember the last time I've actually had this amulet. Not like that's saying much. I don't remember the last time I played Dead Cells, even though it was yesterday. Excuse me, coming through. There should be a little spot of food up here. Should be another spot of food somewhere in the world, but I'm not gonna look for it. And now I'm remembering some of my old Dead Cellsian knowledge here. Like, for instance, every level has at minimum of 2 food spawns. One of them is in a wall, one of them is in an enemy. I believe that is one that dropped from a enemy, so in theory somewhere in this world there should be a secret in the wall or the floor that just has more stuff in it. Okay. We are going to go, you know what? Big grenade spreads oil. Level, same level as the infantry grenade, but more likely to get a kill on something, so why not? Then we're gonna go to the sewers. Beautiful. I guess we're gonna do a weird ranged red build. I mean, there are ranged red equipment, but most of it is fire-based. In fact, it's all fire-based, and then the throwing daggers, which is bleed-based, so this is still a little bit interesting and unusual, I think. Do we need ammo? Probably. So now we have 45 ammo. And considering we fire 6 shots, we need the ammo. Which makes me wonder. It makes me wonder if that's taken into account with the DPS of the weapon. 1772 DPS. It fires twice as many bullets, but does that mean I have to double the DPS number? I don't know. As you can imagine, I like it either way because, well, I mean, I would prefer it if I had to double the numbers. Or would I? On the one hand, it's more work for me. On the other hand, it means I'm gonna do more damage. So maybe I don't know what I want. Careful. Also, oh no, poisoned. That would be a very annoying room to heal off of though, because I'm just constantly going to be falling, teleporting, just trying to get all the healing I can get. The bow doesn't pierce anymore. We should re-roll it back in the, or we should re-roll it when we get to the next area. I can't get to that, I don't think. But that's okay. Yeah, we should re-roll and look for piercing, because that's always a good thing to have. And I'm looking at these, like, trap rooms, and I'm like, I remember these. I remember how annoying it is to get through some of these sometimes. Cocoon. I'm not a big fan of Cocoon. I find it a little bit finicky to use on the timing, and because you can't use it super frequently because it has a long cooldown, you can't really, like, well, you can parry, you can't miss is the thing. If ever you miss, you just go on cooldown. All right, please get more survival. At some point we'll find a new amulet, but for now, it's so good. I do still like the one that heals us in poison because we can just use it on this level and then dump it later. Hello. And the piercing is gonna be very nice, I hope, on the, whatever. On the fight against the boss, but I don't know. Usually there's not too many tentacles out at the same time, so that and the glaive aren't gonna be super effective. Oh, Jesus. Whew. Had a bit of an almost heart attack there. Almost got hit by the exploding grenade, which would have been freaking dangerous. I mean, that's kind of the ideal situation there. Not a lot of enemies in the same line on this level. Like the same dimensionality to one another. Damage seems pretty good though. Damage you inflict, the damage you take is inflicted on other enemies. The bow does do more damage to a poison target, so that's good. I'm trying to analyze where we stand on this run. I like where we stand on this run. The Watcher can always be an annoying fight if you can't output a lot of damage quickly enough to it. That's just a piece of food. Damage from projectiles reduced 75%. We don't need the food on this level. We can heal just by standing in poison for 10 minutes. I promise to limit my use of that. Shrapnel axes. Not nearly as much damage. I also don't like them. Melee shards burst from the axes when you strike enemies. Or when you just attack, but I'm not a big fan of the shrapnel axes. It's like a weird melee ranged mixed item. Maybe Segus Jr. could... That was weird. Maybe Segus Jr. can tell me whether or not they work with point blank. In which case, maybe they'd be okay, but oh wait, wrong color. Another Star Fury. You know? Better than the one that we have. Star Fury might be what we want to use against the boss, actually. Star Fury and just the bow or something. I don't know. Well, down we go. Segus Jr. says, sorry, which weapon? Oh, what is that? You're not paying attention? Playing some... Returnal? You were playing Returnal yesterday, weren't you? Are you still playing that yourself? Have you tried the Tower of Sisyphus mode? It actually is kind of a lot of fun. Just gonna throw that at you. Just beat the second loop, says Segus Jr. Beat your second loop of the main game. Okay. I'm curious how many loops it would take to win a run, like, fully of Returnal, like, to get to the final ending and everything. It'd be a good, like, indication of how many times I have to play the game to get the endings. Is there a way to turn that off? Hold on. They have, like, options for freaking everything in this game. Accessibility. Flashes, screen shake, particle limit. You can't toggle no blood on a run. Secret zone visibility. Reduce the concealment of secret zone entrances. That's pretty good. Adds an outline to projectiles. Players' active skills. This is all just really good. Like, to be able to see enemies or to see projectiles might make it a little bit easier to fight certain bosses or something. Customize color. Display stat icons in addition to their color. Object names, dialogue size. Play the bank's elevator music. Customize sound effect volumes separately, sound effect settings. Sound effect reduction. Sound effects prioritization. Hero volume. Well, it's probably like my dodge rolling and whatnot. I don't know how to change it. At some point in this game's development, they added in a grunt when you get hit, and it's just, it sounds so out of place because I'm not used to it. I'm nitpicking here. But also, I'm like, the beheaded doesn't even have a mouth, how can he grunt? Segus Jr. says, I'm less versed in shrapnel axes. You need to do all 6 levels 3 times, says Jackman. In Returnal, okay. Gives me an idea anyways. Hey, we're also healing by 4. So it does scale, so we don't have to sit here forever. Confuse yourself by mixing up the colors. It would be confusing on weapons, but not confusing if I pick up a scroll, because I always just go to the first one if I'm doing tactics. Or sorry, survival. Sorry, brutality. I go to the middle one if I'm doing tactics, and the right one if I'm doing survival. If it mixed up the order, then I would always pick the wrong scroll, and I'd be kicking myself. Don't mind me, just healing. I mean, that's what it's there for. Well, no, what it's there for is probably so you don't have to worry about it, not that you can just, you know, grind out heals. Abe relaxing poison bath. In my head, I'm actually thinking of the, like, the baths in Hollow Knight. Like, that's just, it's so good. All right, random weapons. If we can get a better glaive, I would love it. If we can get a better weapon for the boss fight, I would like it. Man, the glaive does 8,000 DPS on a bounce. That's kind of stupid. You know, bouncing on the boss might be kind of funny. Nah. What about hemorrhage? Causes bleeding. Firebrand. Burning damage can stack up. A little hard to do on a boss, I think. Flawless, not so much. Firebrand, not so much. How about the Sadist Stiletto? Inflicts a critical hit if the target is bleeding or poisoned. Well, we only have bleeding and poisoning on the glaive. Hayabusa Boots, Bloodthirsty Shield. I mean, we still have the Star Fury. We can give that a shot. I don't know how effective it's gonna be, but, you know, we'll try. And we're done with the floor, so what I'm gonna do is find a better amulet, I think. We don't need to worry about the poison healing us at this point, because we're probably not gonna take damage at this point. But I would love to get a amulet that maybe get, okay, well, let's do this first. What a strange, I'm glad I went down here. You were probably like, oh, he's gonna min-max and grab all of the different loot items on the floor. Oh, well, you know what? I got a freaking scroll out of doing that. And also an amulet. An extra jump in midair. Here's the thing, I believe that your amulet gets kicked out when you leave this room. So I'm gonna hold on to the double jump amulet so that or the triple jump amulet, so that if we come across a trap in this area that requires a like triple jump to clear easily, we'll have the triple jump, then we just won't get hit. And if we get hit, whatever, we'll hopefully get the amulet back when we leave anyways, but we probably just won't need it. Let's see. This should be the end. It gets kicked out, right? Yeah. But we don't need it, so we can get rid of it. Cool, 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 cool. Then, there's another amulet up there. We might as well go check it out. Well, yeah, we'll walk it. Also some enemies to fight if we really want to get into some more combat there. Extra jump or better damage. I think I will go better damage on this one. I'll just I got poisoned. I thought I had the poison amulet. Good to get that out of my system now. It doesn't matter, we're only down like 5 HP, but it's the... It doesn't matter. What matters is that I'm not at full. Now, is this any better than the one that we had? Projectiles reduced 75%. I think we're okay with the one that we currently have. We don't have that much HP, but this boss is not terribly dangerous. We might get smacked around by a tentacle or two, but I thought we're gonna just, you know, keel over and die. We could also grab a spin to win, but it's just so unbelievably good. But I think that's why I don't want to take it, because it's too good. Also, it's really hard to hit the tentacles with this now that I think about it, but we could always just hit the boss with this and then use the something else to hit the tentacles. All right. I'm ready to go. We have, probably instead of the glaive, the Star Fury. The shots from the Star Fury home, which is nice. Dun, 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 dun. One day I'll do another claw run. Well, that's not what I meant. But that day is not today. Hello? You got nothing? Hello? You can re-roll. I think I want the bow to have some sort of piercing. There you go. Plus damage when you're at max HP. I'm literally not at max HP, but I think we're gonna get a healing flask. So I think that's okay. The Star Fury does do more damage to a poison target. We're looking for more damage to burning targets. Really. Plus damage when you're at max HP. Critical hits up. All right, I think this is okay for now. No heals, so I guess we get one heal after this fight. So if I heal for 10, I can have more damage. Quite a lot more damage, but you know. Plus damage on rooted targets, plus damage on a bleeding target. Shots pierce, remains explode, shoots an arrow upwards and in front of you. Really, I'm just looking for burning target. All right. Might be a little hard to hit this boss, but I like him. I like the setup we have. Actually, probably gonna rush me. Nope, poison shots. I forgot about those. Let's wait for it. No reason to be particularly, that was a bad hit, bad angle. No reason to be too fast. We can take our time. Probably shouldn't use the sword for this. I keep wanting to. Oh, you dick. I wasn't, oh, you know what? I think they were hitting the biter. Because I got a biter out of one of these shots. So I think the tentacle tried to hit the biter. Just like one of the worst ways to lose your flawless. But dude, the Star Fury is really good. The damage seems way higher than what's listed. Did he go to the camera? What the hell was that? I looked away from the screen for a second, but it looked like, you know, put on your 3D glasses now, kiddos. Looks like the Watcher was flung at the screen and did like a cartoon smash against the camera. What the hell was that? That was very strange. Yeah, I really like this this glaive that we've got here. Now, what are we doing for the back half of this run? Honestly, I kind of want to maybe roll into Dracula's castle. Like, why not, right? He pulled an SSMB execute. Like, what about like a hard mode run? Slumbering Sanctuary, Sepulchre, Clock Room. We can't go to the cavern, but that's okay. We'll fight Clock Boss. We're kind of a ranged build, so it works fine. We'll also go to the graveyard. Want to go to the graveyard? Where can we go from the graveyard? From the graveyard, we can still go. You can go Sepulchre from anywhere. Okay. I'm surprised you can't get to the fractured shrines from the crypt, but that's okay. I'm gonna go graveyard. Here's my reasoning for going to the graveyard. Oh, we're not even there yet. We're gonna go to the graveyard because I'm probably gonna do a lot of Slumbering Sanctuary when I'm actually like, you know, trying for, you know, BC 10 runs and whatnot. Because those BC 5 runs, BC 10? Those BC 5 runs, Boss Stem Cell level 5, require as many scrolls and stats as you can get, and you get the most stats from the Caverns biome fighting the Giant. So for now, let's do something a little bit maybe easier, but actually very good with the glaive too. And I was thinking about those enemies in particular in the future when we just do like 5 runs of the caverns in a row. People are going to be not quite as annoyed, hopefully. And there might be a... Give me a second. There might be a curse chest at the end of this floor. If there is, we'll just grab it and then do the Slumbering Sanctuary, because there's almost always one in the Slumbering. Sorry. There's almost always one in the... Sepulcher as well. I don't remember the name of the place. It's a good weapon, this glaive. I'm loving it. Oh my god. What BC we're playing on in this run? It's listed above the map in the bottom right corner. We are on BC 3. This is run like 8 since coming back to play Dead Cells. We'll get back up to BC 5 at some point in the future, but for now I want to keep it a little bit low while I'm practicing that Dracul fight. I mean, we're crushing it. This glaive combo, it's getting the job done. Ignore the cat. Sorry, kitty. I gotta go up there myself to get the freaking button. Aw, thank you. CC Goals, you're welcome. Ask questions if you have any. I like it when people ask questions if they need me to explain something. That's what I'm here for after all. Where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? We need to get the key. I must have passed it. That's already 60 kills. He's gonna... Don't worry, he's dead. Like, the glaive, it never needs to kill everything in one hit, you know? Especially if there's only one enemy on the screen. But if there's multiple enemies, it just does such a good job of clearing them all out, because it gets more damage on every single bounce. That's gonna be like a new favorite weapon for Brutality, because there's very few good ranged Brutality weapons. With the exception of, like, you know, Fire Blast, which could get pretty out of control, disgustingly good, but also very explicitly fits into a burn build. Maybe you're not interested in. Just you? Really thought there would be something else. Gotcha. I mean, it's just so good. I know I'm gushing over the glaive here, but maybe I'm finally understanding why Mud likes the weapon so much. In Risk of Rain. It's not even a got him moment. It's a got me moment, really. Art of Bob Rich, welcome. How you doing today? Hello. There's got to be something to kill. Dun 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 dun. Dun ding 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 ding. I wonder if this glaive has like a maximum number of bounces. It kind of feels like it might, but it's very hard to tell. Because in that situation, the enemies were kind of underneath the level, the flying enemies. So it's really hard to see if, or it's really hard to tell if that's because they're under the ground, it didn't hit them, or if it's just reached its maximum bounces. A better glaive, you know? You convinced me, game. I suppose we could get a better sword. You know, infantry bow is actually a pretty decent brutality ranged weapon. I did kind of forget about that one. Triple damage baseball bat. 71,000 DPS on a crit, huh? Dude, what if we grab this? Plus damage to a stun target as well. What if we grab this and we try to one-shot the boss with the baseball bat? We don't use it for this floor. Pyrotechnics is not a very good one. Too slow, I think. We get like a wolf trap or something, and we lock down the boss in the clock tower, and then we just start smacking. I would need some way of locking down the boss, and I think wolf traps is the best one that we could find. But I'm willing to try it if we can find a way to make it work. That's not the best. I messed up my initial throw. I kind of hit the wooden platform. It didn't actually do any freaking damage with it. Carry it in the backpack. I believe it will still kill you if it's in your backpack. Or rather, it'll still do double damage, triple damage. No, actually, that's wrong. Quadruple damage. It is a quadruple damage upgrade. Does it? It does, because there's things in the game, perks that let you use your backpack item. And so if you could hold a 4 times damage backpack item, you could just use it for free without the penalty. I also know for a fact that if you have a cursed sword in your backpack, it'll still kill you. Unless it's been changed, but it wasn't, you know, that's not how it worked when I played the game. So I'm not gonna take it until we're done with the level, because what I want is to maybe see if we can grab some sort of a wolf trap, lock down the boss, and then just wipe them in like 2 seconds, which would be kind of funny. Have you killed 5 BC? I have done 5 BC, yes. The only reason I'm playing on 3 boss cells right now is because this is the first, well, this week is the first time I've come back to Dead Cells in like a year to check out the new DLC, so I need the crutch, basically. I'm giving myself a little bit of a handicap. I don't know what died, but everything died due to this freaking glaive. So there's no cursed chest, it's just a normal chest. Nope, there's a cursed chest. How many enemies are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can't kill everything. I'm gonna be honest, I actually think we do want to grab the cursed chest because we're almost gonna be done with it, the curse. There's another scroll there too. Hank Bab says, Porcupack also scales beyond 100%. Ah. So you could have that weapon doing insane damage if it's in your backpack. Alright, there's a teleporter. Let's give it a go. It's another lantern. No. No, sorry game. I'm not gonna take your freaking lanterns. Get those lanterns out of here. Okay. Be careful. Be careful and you'll be fine. Throw a grenade. Throw another grenade. They're all on fire. They don't teleport. What's creating the biters? The fire grenade. We gotta get rid of biters, because I don't like how they can affect enemy aggro. Okay, at least we can see what's going on now. So you're gonna die. We only have to kill one more enemy. I don't think there's one more enemy on the level, unfortunately, but, you know, killing one enemy on the next floor is not too bad. Or maybe we could even go to some of the key doors and see if maybe we just forgot an enemy in one of those rooms. Since we've already cleared out the level, wouldn't be the worst idea in the world, but you might step on spikes on the way over there, which is a little bit dangerous. Tell you what, we'll check out this room. We killed everything. I think we're just gonna go then. And we need to go to the sepulcher, which is right here. But I want to grab the baseball bat. If I do this, here's the thing. If I do this, it means I'm getting rid of the Star Fury because I'm gonna hold on to the bow. And I really want to hold on to the glaive as well. These are very good weapons for me. So I'm acknowledging that the baseball bat with its 109,000 DPS is pretty decent. Goodbye, Star Fury. So I do believe we still have the negative effect of holding onto the weapon. I do believe we still have the negative of taking triple damage, even though it's in our backpack. Again, you know, it could have been changed at some point, but I'm pretty certain that's how it used to work, and unless it was changed, I'm going to go under that assumption. One thing I'm worried about, though, is if I drop it, if we don't lose the triple damage curse. I say that because there is a bug, or there was a bug, I don't know if it still exists, again, but if you dropped a cursed sword from your backpack, it would still kill you, even though it's on the ground. So I'm being very careful about this kind of stuff. Okay, no biters, everything else is fine. That's fine. Bank. Bank, huh? Here's the thing, there's stuff in the bank that we do need to do, but since I don't have the blueprint grenade, I just want to go to the sepulcher. Mr. Tutorial, welcome. Is this custom brutality? The only thing custom in this game mode right now, the only thing that I've enabled is random outfits. Every time we go to a new level, we get a random outfit. That's literally the only thing that I've enabled in the random. And I did it because I like random outfits. hold on. So, let me put this baseball bat on the ground. I believe that, you know, does work. If I get hit once and I'm immediately hitting disengagement, then we'll talk about it. We'll think about what we're gonna do. There's the other cursed chest. Let me be a little bit smart about this and actually look ahead for once. Mr. Tutorial says you don't get 4x in the backpack. It would show above your head, I think. I don't know if that's actually correct. And again, I say that because I have experiences with this game in the past of it not working correctly with things in your backpack. You still get the negatives. And again, I bring it up that because you can have like the Acrobata pack, you can get the benefit of having a very strong 4x damage weapon in your backpack, but none of the negatives. I don't know if that makes any sense, that they would allow that. But just to be certain, we're gonna drop it anyways. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Does seem like something though that maybe would be nice to like look up on the wiki, or really just do like a experimental test, you know, load up the game in a custom mode, get infinite money, re-roll the weapon until it gives you what, you know, a 4 times damage multiplier, and then at that point you can actually, you know, test it out correctly in a proper scientific method environment, you know? So I'm tempted to go survival skills here to try to get a wolf trap. We don't really need to upgrade the grenades. The grenades are doing what the grenades are doing. They're killing things sometimes. Do I have the key? I do not have the key. Okay, we're still going with curse. And it's a trap room that we have to pass by. Okay, well, you know, I'm pretty okay at traps. For the most part. Can't see. Get a little dark in here. I will shoot you until you die, my friend. Like, something will kill you. 4 boss cells required. That'll do it. Beautiful. More food. More food! The headless needs more food. Damage from projectiles reduced 75%. It's good. Gives us more health, but really like our stats and brutality right now. I know we'd be getting a little bit more health, but I don't want more health. I want more damage. It's another curse chest. I couldn't have said that any more worse than I did. It's another cursed chest. Okay. Interesting. There should be a lot of enemies left on the level. Let's progress until we find a room of combat, and then we'll come back, because I don't want to have to go through another trap room. Cursed dress? Curved sword? Cursed chest? It's very unusual to get a cursed chest here. Oh, there's more than enough enemies to kill. It's like a 10% chance. I guess it's not unusual, because the first curse chest that we found, that's a guaranteed spawn. This one was random. Because that was a cursed chest down there too, wasn't it? Explosive decoy, no thank you. Another scroll. We are 25-4. Our damage is very high. There's another scroll. That one looks like it's gonna be a health scroll. I'm surprised that my glaive kind of like bounced up. Gotta kill 2 more enemies. Give me a second. Let me get some more points. A lot of things died in a line right here. Oh, you know what? There's 2 enemies right there. Beautiful. There's another bat? So many bats, man! Oh god. Man, the glaive is just unreal how good it is. I wasn't even over there and everything died. I mean, this is what you want from it, right? Well. Very awkward place I put myself into. You know what, why don't we chuck one of those down there? 27, huh? I forgot how the game is balanced. Is this like a high number of scrolls for a BC3 run? I feel like we have found a lot of bonus scrolls. Thank you. Rather, I feel like we haven't done a bad job of finding scrolls. I mean, the glaive is one-shotting these enemies at this point. It's fantastic. It's a lot, seems to be on the higher side. Good. Good. I'm gonna freaking obliterate Dracula. What? Oh, right, the spitting blade. Completely forgot about that. Eat it. Excuse me. Can be used to attack in melee. Deals critical damage after a parry. What? Why does my character make noises? So if you tap it once, you get a parry, and then you can keep comboing it. And you know what? Every attack that you do is a parry too. Very, very interesting. It's a melee weapon you can parry with. Alucard's shield. Very interesting. But we kind of have our build right now. Our build is, we're going to try to one-shot the boss if we can get something that can root. Can root? It does seem fun. Maybe one day I would even try it out, but not on this run. I'm too comfortable with where I am. It's like I throw a grenade when I wind up to fire the Shoryuken. Like there was something up there. Hold on. This is a head moment. Use your head. Open with the crypt key. So this goes to... the Guardian's Haven. We can fight the Guardian. I would love it if I could actually go to Dracula's castle without going to the clock room, though. Perhaps they added it as a reason to fight the clock boss, you know? Perhaps a lot of people were kind of skipping out on the clock boss, and they're like, you know what, why don't we just make it so you have to go that path, and then people are gonna fight the clock boss so they can fight Dracula. Or maybe it's 100% just for the lore. Well, of course you have to go fight the clock boss. You're fighting, you gotta go into the clock tower to get to the castle. Of course, of course. But of course. Knife dance is pretty good. We'll take it. Might even be able to like build up a more damage on burn synergy or a bleed synergy or something. All right, we're gonna pick up our food, fight this boss, which I completely forgot about. Totally remembered actually, that's what I meant to say. Well, he died very quickly. I like our stats, again, 27 is very good. Here's food. We'll grab our baseball bat and then get the heck out of here. Zyomkin, welcome. Says, damn it, I'm late. You are, but you're not too late. Because we're gonna try to obliterate the upcoming boss here. With this ×4 baseball bat. Let's do it, let's see. No, wait, we have to actually see if we find a skill first. We need a root. We're not gonna be able to stun the boss probably, but a root would work. So we want a like survival/tactics root ability. No. No. The stun grenade, it might work. So I'm gonna grab it just in case we don't get anything better than this on the rerolls. Card is also very interesting. Telluric Shock is also just good. This is slow, but it's not stunning. Come on. Wolf Trap, let's go. All right, let's recycle. Wolf traps are nice because when the boss gets out of one wolf trap, they get caught in the other wolf trap. All right. I have no idea if this is gonna work. Here's the thing though. We're not gonna die because we have disengagement, you know? We're probably not gonna die because we have disengagement, you know? Victims of bleeding spread it to other enemies. You know what? I will upgrade that, I think. Plus 100% damage to a target covered in burning oil. Okay, maybe we could have kept our burning oil synergy. Yeah. If I had a firebomb, we would have a burning oil synergy, but you know what? Let's just do it. Don't need the heal, okay? So, lock it down with the wolf trap, roll behind, smack. Although, can this boss turn around? I'm a skeleton. In the middle of an attack? Because if so, I might have to dodge roll through him twice. I don't know. Hopefully not. Not even close to being like a one-shot, but that's good damage. We should have had it. We should have had it. So the boss did turn around in the wolf trap. Not only bosses can do this, some enemies can turn around in the wolf trap as well. The problem is that not all enemies can turn around in the wolf trap, which makes it kind of inconsistent. It's yet another just kind of like long-standing Dead Cells bug that I knew would probably bite me in the ass here, but that's okay. Let's go to the castle. I mean, we got hit once. That's pretty good. And you know what I'm interested in here? I'm actually interested in keeping the bat in my backpack, and if we get hit once and we hit the disengagement, then we'll know that we still are affected by the 4x curse. Because I am actually interested in that myself. I don't know if we're affected by the 4x curse or not when it's in our backpack. I think we are. I just don't think it sees the fact that we're in it because of the fact that we have, gotta remember how to actually play. Because it's in our backpack, it's not like actually being held, but we still are affected by it. So a part of me is like, okay, let me just get hit by like a projectile and we'll see what happens. Like one bone projectile shouldn't do 4,000 damage, so let me find another bone man. And then I'll say, hey, you know what, bone man, hit me. Come on, hit me. You just like literally spawned in. You see me, right? I mean, it did 2,800 damage. That feels high. Then again, I don't have much in the way of health stats, you know? 50% radish, thank you very much. So you know what I'm gonna do? Here's what I'm gonna do. Don't take it now. We're going to find another bone man, get hit again, and see how much damage we take. Hello. Actually, is that where ah! Actually, what I'm going to do, before I do that, I'm gonna let this guy live. Ah! What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find a new weapon, replace my backpack slot, just in case it's a bug with the backpack slot. Ah! It's a boneman. And then we'll know one way or another. So I'm purposefully ignoring enemies. There also might be a curse chest on this level, so we should leave things alive. Did disengagement trigger? It actually did not trigger. We didn't take that much damage from one boneman. The design of this level is very interesting. You can actually run past a lot of the enemies, like, easily. This is the Medusa. I don't want to fight the Medusa right yet. MacLeod said, I had a really fun run earlier where I picked up a 2x healing war spear. I don't like war spears, so I wouldn't pick it up anyways, but what do you mean 2x healing war spear? Like it did double damage and it would heal you? Suppose that could be interesting. You just dropped a scroll. Probably should not have just stood still. Yeah, we did hit disengagement. So he did 1,600 damage. Not 16, yeah, no, 1,600 damage. It's actually quite a lot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go back for the heal. Hello. Just get out of here. Be a little bit careful about this. I wanna find an item for my backpack and then get hit by a boneman, because the boneman did 2888. I know how much damage he dealt. There's our cursed chest. We knew we were gonna find one. I'm starting to realize, I believe that cursed chest is kind of always there on the left side of the map. Okay, so we put that in our backpack. So if there is a backpack curse, hopefully this resolves the backpack curse. In fact, why don't we just do this, and then do this, and then do this, and that should do it. Just wanted to swap a couple of times to make sure. So if we find a boneman, I will let him hit me once. That's all you're getting though, boneman. What happened? Things died, and I was not there for it. Just waiting to find a Mr. Boneman. Mr. Bone Man! More brutality. We need more health. I'm gonna wait. Enjoy the view. We need the health because the one time I died on Dracula, I only had 10,000. I would like to crank it up a little bit, but okay. 3654? So apparently in your backpack, you don't get the extra curse. You know what? We've learned. We've definitely learned. Oh my god, I got hit again. Oh, Jesus. Heal up. That was very poor play on my part. But getting hit for 3,000 means that we need more health. Our health is not adequate, so from this point on, any scrolls we get, we're gonna pop those directly into HP. Unless this thing had double damage on it. No, shots pierce all enemies. But you know what? So that's a good lesson to learn. I think it still will kill you if you have a curse sword in your backpack, but at this point, maybe not. You know, don't take me for the, don't quote me on this one. Test it yourself. Go into the game's test mode. Give yourself a cursed sword, put it in your backpack, see what happens. Oh, you think 30 scrolls on red is a good idea? Just don't get hit. I've done it before. Really wish I could hit you. There we go. I've done it before, just don't get hit. Kind of hoping we get map completion, but I'll probably go for the cursed chest in like a second. Does this count as map completion? No. There's a ton of enemies in that room. We should be okay. And if not, then hey, we'll just, you know, die. But that's okay. I passed by so many enemies. So missing health is temporary health. Put this one into tactics. 12,000 HP, we're getting there. Curse sword in a backpack will kill you. Curse sword out of the backpack onto the ground will also kill you, I think. Lots of thinks and theories, you know? So I just hope Dracula doesn't kill me with like a teleport in front of me and then fire bats into my face. It's actually why I feel like running through the level and initially is actually a good idea, because if you run through the level and backtrack, I feel like you're less likely to get another Dracula spawn. You can't hit me though. Fortunately, your aim sucks. Only have to kill one more enemy. Worst case scenario, it's the elite, but we're gonna kill him anyways. Ah! That'll kill him. 3 stats on the scroll. Yes. Now we're at 14,000 HP. Yoshizil says it's hi streaming today. Your top. Does Hank Babs stream? If so, I didn't know that. I should pay more attention. to people on ye old Twitch recommendation page, but Twitch never recommends people who watch me, you know. Does the bouncy thing bounce between two enemies until they're dead? I think it bounces like up to 8 times or something like that. But after the second bounce, it does guaranteed critical hits. And that's usually enough to one-shot most enemies, so it will kill, you know, probably at least 5 enemies if there's a crowd. It's actually like pretty damn decent. Lots of money on the ground. Not an incentivized biome, there's just a lot of cash. Survival, sure. Okay. This is the second time I've seen the, like, statue here. I feel like I need to, you know, tilt the head back, press a button, and then it'll activate Batman's cave. Why? And, like, the camera focuses weirdly up here. You see that? There's something about that room. I'm gonna figure out the secret to that room. And the bust of, like, George Washington, or wherever that is. Probably something Castlevania related, if I had to guess. Does it bounce through ground so you can fall from? So the glaive doesn't go through walls or grounds. However, it seems to be able to pass through walls hitting flying enemies because of their, like, physics being weird. That's a weird room. You are right, says Hank Bob. You know, I can appreciate you pointing me in the right direction that there is actually something with that room, and then also not spoiling it if there is a secret to that room, but also maybe giving me an indication that I should go look into that room a little bit more. That's like the perfect level of possible spoilery, although without being spoilery. But maybe you're also just trying to, like, pull my chain and get me to waste my time in the room, who knows? You know what? 20 grand for a flask is cheap. We're gonna grab more health. I mean, we're already at 20,000, that's pretty good. An elite harpy, huh? Well, got him. Projectiles reduce 75%. Less health? You know what? Just give me the current amulet that has one of each stat. I like that. I do love spreading that poison. Traz says, not anymore, I'm not. Or not anymore, it's not. I don't know how to take that. So yeah, you can see that hitting the enemy standing here was able to hit an enemy on the left platform, then the right platform, then the bottom right platform. So it kind of goes around the platforms, but there really has to be line of sight. But the way the game handles line of sight is weird because flying enemies have like a different line of sight, depending on where the game calculates their physics to be. So, a little strange, but hey, it got the job done. No! This is the price you pay for standing against me. I needed to find a new weapon! You dick! Oh, referring to the elite harpy. Dracula just really doesn't like that one shot. Shelling weapons in my castle? Why, I'd never. He's pretty much a big jerk about it. All right, and I gotta go fight the I gotta go fight the doozy as well. Or is she the Gorgon? Look, I'm just gonna be honest, I don't want to do Richter mode, so I think I'm gonna ignore that on this time around. How hard would you say the castle is compared to other biomes? The castle is very easy. Like, really actually super easy. Which is kind of a shame, actually, because I wish it was a little bit harder. The boss is pretty tough. But the biome itself is, like, rather straightforward. Individually, the enemies are all very simple. And I think part of that is because they're designed around Castlevania enemies, you know, where they just, like, throw something in an arc. And, like, that's the height of gaming performance back in, like, you know, 1986 or whatever the hell it was. So, the enemies are not necessarily that difficult. You can hit that far? What a jerk. Enemies are kind of the same like the other minions. Well, here's the thing. The blue knights are kind of like the knights in the castle, sure, but then the blue knights that throw an axe and an arc, they're just like the skeletons in the biome. So you have two enemies that have like the same attack in the biome. Segas Jr. is correct. You also had way less control over your character in Castlevania, e.g., when you jump, you don't have an air control, you don't have a dodge. The physics was a lot wonkier back then. Surprised I didn't kill you. You need to try Have a Nice Death. I've heard of that one. I haven't played it yet. It's been recommended to me before. Maybe one of these days I'll check it out. There's nothing else to do on the floor. I'm gonna grab the full heal. We are going to go. And I don't think we're gonna grab the backpack, or the baseball bat. I think we're just gonna roll really multi-knock bow, and then actually pyrotechnic might be a little bit better than the laser glaive. Well, probably not. Because unless you hit with the final shot, you're not doing all the damage that you should be doing. So I don't know, I guess we're just not gonna have a melee weapon for this one. Because I'm just gonna be honest, we don't need it. Like, it's gonna be really hard to actually get that to work on Dracula, and what about the flying form? He probably can't even be rooted. Maybe he can. But I also don't want to take triple damage, so, you know, screw that. I'm gonna go recycle this baseball bat and then get the heck out of here. Jackman just says the bat, trying to remind me about it. I don't want it, because yes, it's 250,000 damage or 1/3 damage, but it's also very scary. But I tell you what, we'll give it a try on the Dracula fight, and when we get hit once, and then I'll... Dude, if he grabs me, though, I'm dead. I'm just realizing now. If he grabs me, like, that's it. This would be funny. Mr. T-Torial says, is Castlevania a super old game, or why have I never heard of it? Well, did you own a NES or SNES? You have disengagement? Surprise, surprise! Disengagement does not work when he grabs you. He will still kill you. Have you played Blasphemous? Asks Green Crow. Not yet. Another game that I hear good things about. I played Super Mario World on my SNES. Castlevania was for, I don't remember if it was a NES or a SNES. Plus damage on a rooted target. You know what? Gives the wolf trap a reason to exist. Spreads oil, biters, shots pierce. You know what? Whatever. I like our mutations. Disengagement, no mercy, ammo. What else would we grab? How much bonus health can we get out of soldier's resistance? 16%. You know, we could get Porcupack. Roll through enemies and they get hit by 104% of the weapon's base damage, which means that they'll get hit for a weapon doing 126,000 DPS. Yeah. I don't think so. I'm just gonna try to... If Dracula can get rooted, I'll try to pull it out. Just get YOLO. Can't. Can't crit with it in your backpack. Possible. CC Gulls says, did you enjoy Rift Wizard? I like Rift Wizard from what I played of it, but I think it doesn't really make for the best stream content or YouTube content, because you've got to like really be paying attention to everything that's happening and reading all the spells constantly in order to figure out what all the synergies do. And that's not true for people who have played the game a lot already, but for people just kind of learning and figuring out what's going on, it's a little hard. Hold on. Ugh. Is that like secret stuff up there? Excuse me? How the heck do I get up there? I need like wings of the crow. Hold on. I gotta, hold on. Can I like get over there and climb the castle wall? Mutation say base damage. Good point. Like, there's something up there. Like, is there a hidden block like Super Mario style? What the heck? Secret zone discovered. Hold on. Search. A shelf filled with the full arsenal of the perfect vampire hunter. Leather armor, garlic bulbs, whip, even hair lotion for flyaway hair. Trevor outfit. The statue of a hooded young woman. Just like the shelf nearby, it looks really ancient. A little plaque on the base reads, Scyphia Belnatus. She looks like a witch, but one of the good ones. Scyphia outfit. We got outfits! Haha! Let's go! Now, is this a secret in, like, the original Castlevania? Where if you jump onto the platform, you can find a little bit of a secret up here? You know what's interesting is that it actually, you can see it on the map. You can see on the map that it looks like there's something here because it's not a flat surface. Cool. Yeah, Symphony of the Night is what I meant, but whatever. Okay. Are we gonna try to baseball bat this fool? Maybe. Let's just see how we go first. I'm going to hold skip. Can't really shoot you. Ow! Can I root you? No! That's fine. I hate getting hit on that, but... Oh! Going for it. It didn't work. Okay, I need to heal. Alright, I'm gonna stop doing that. Oh my god. What the hell? I'm being bodied by this guy. I'm being juggled. Okay, heal up. I hate the sound effect of getting hit, though. I'm not... Don't jump that high. I'm not doing this fight as well as I should be. That much is clear. Okay. That was terrible. I got hit like 4 times in a row. I got like comboed by this guy. You know what? Give me the freaking ice armor. Give me the rapier. I'm selling that damn baseball bat, which almost got me killed. I don't know why I struggle so much on that first phase. Hopefully I don't struggle here. Let's see. Hello. You know, damage is pretty good. Did get hit there, it's fine. Out of, Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? This meteor attack. We gotta move to the side platform, and then we gotta start jumping. Oh, we're good. Land. He comes in. Duck. Land? Yep. You can see the tell for his attack on the side of the screen when he does it. He doesn't like it when you try to get him. Have we been hit yet on the phase? I think we may have flawlessed phase 2. I can't remember if I got hit or not, but phase 2 is actually easier for me than phase 1. I thought it was gonna be the opposite, but phase 2, he has clear tells. Phase 1, Vampire Man just teleports and has like instant attacks out. Like if you're close to him and he opens his cape and fires bats, you just get carried by the bats and he does like all of your health of damage. I think phase 1 is harder because phase 1 has way more like juggling that he can do to you. If you get hit by the bats, for instance, you like ride the wave of bats, you can't hit the ground to heal, and then you just almost die. And then, of course, the fact that he can go through your disengagement with the grapple. Matthias Cronquist outfit. But, like, in theory, if I can get better at phase 1, then phase 2, not going to be that much of a problem. We can probably get a flawless pretty easily on this fight. You have no time to attack in phase 1, says Mr. Tutorial. That too, yeah, it definitely feels like on phase 1, it's hard to close the distance, and if you try to close the distance and he just fires bats in your face, you're gonna take a bunch of damage. So it is hard to find an opportunity to attack. Still, that was a fun run. I guess in theory we could even crank it up to level 4. Removes all healing. Ugh. Maybe keep it on 3 for like another run or so. But that was a fun run. I'm learning more about the Dracula fight. I'm learning how much I hate the phase 1, but the phase 2 is great. Once you start realizing that there's tells for everything. Like there's a purple indicator at the top of the screen when he's about to come down and smack, and you can just dodge roll out of it. There's indicators at the bottom of the screen when the flame pillar comes out of the ground trying to hit you. And then the meteor attack, you just have to jump up the platforms. You know, everything has a counter to it. Just be careful not to get hit by like the weird beam. I did get hit by the beam, but I did have the ice armor on now that I think about it. So maybe we did flawless phase 2. I can't remember. Doesn't matter though. Because I'm pretty sure you have to flawless both phases in order to flawless the boss. Although maybe that only counts for phase 1 because you do get end of fight rewards from phase 1. I don't know. Regardless, that was a fun run and I enjoyed that one. You know what we should maybe do? Boss rush. I don't like boss rush modes in video games, but maybe. For now, for those of you on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. Like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe for more, check me out on Twitch, or when I go live, support the channel, any of the links below in the video description, and I hope to see you here again for the next run of Dead Cells.